Generational vehicle, the epitome of irrationality. This thing is an absolute monster, so much so to say it can't even really truly be experienced through a video. The Cadillac Escalade V sums up everything that American muscle ultra luxury has culminated over the past 100 or so years into this pinnacle of a luxury barge that it is. This 2024 Cadillac Escalade V, over $150,000, gorgeous emerald green paint over a contrasting Auburn / black interior. I can't say enough amazing and crazy things about this Escalade V, because honestly, even after this week, I'm still processing the insanity of this whole Escalade V. It drives like a cloud. It roars like a NASCAR V8. It has every quality of insanity just stuffed into one package. So this vehicle is a special one. I'm going to try to do my best to demonstrate all of its amazing qualities to you guys and to celebrate 20 years of the V brand. Let's go dive in. And oh boy, are we diving in. Let's pop open the hood of this monster. And under here we have the, of course, 6.2 liter supercharged V8 from General Motors, paired with a near 2.7 liter supercharger slapped right on top. And that has been derived from none other than the Corvette ZR1, the C7 ZR1 to be exact. This is a monster of a powertrain. It's actually pretty unique to the Escalade V. They've kind of made a whole bunch of unique modifications for this particular vehicle. It's making over 680 horsepower, over 650 pound-feet of torque, 0 to 60 in around 4.4 to 4.3 seconds, and it also weighs over 6,000 pounds. It's paired to a 10-speed automatic gearbox with custom tuning to this particular engine and drivetrain to get the quickest shifts as possible out of this gearbox. And it's paired to a full-time permanent all-wheel drive system. And notice how I said all-wheel drive, not necessarily four-wheel drive or full-time or part-time four-wheel drive. You can't really modify this one whatsoever. It's kind of sticking to its four-wheel traction and distribution here. And this one is hand-built by none other than Courtney Hughes. Thank you, Courtney, for building a wonderful engine, and it's still being broken in. It just has around 1,000 miles on it as well. So I'm very happy to be one of the first journalists to drive this particular Escalade V. And all of this comes at a cost. And I just have to put this figure in the sense of a world where it doesn't really matter for this vehicle. MPG, I've been getting 9, 10, sometimes 11 MPG. Some people have seen 16 on rare occasions on the highway, but throw that out of the water. That's not what this vehicle is about. This vehicle is about its engine, the insanity, the power. So if you're buying one of these things and concerned about miles per gallon, you are in the wrong market. And just check out this awesome V-patterned felt-lined hood liner up here, which is really nice. We have some cool V accents on it. Really nice and gorgeous engine bay. I love how they let you see the entire engine. Now, of course, we have to talk about the design of the Escalade V, which shockingly isn't that different than a normal Escalade Sport or an Escalade Platinum. There are some unique tidbits, though. As you can see up here, we have this really aggressive kind of lower lip spoiler area and painted in this gloss black. And I love how the kind of emerald green or just the general body color paint finish is carried onto the lower area of this kind of lip spoiler design. Very aggressive, large, blacked out front grille, very similar to what we see on the Escalade kind of sport trim as well, though, so keep that in mind. This one is getting the 20-year emblem on here as part of the 20th anniversary package of the V brand, which is nice. And everything on this vehicle is pretty much what we see on your typical Escalade. We have our same headlights here, full LED headlights with our large LED daytime running lights in the vertical position down here. And same thing with the hood design, very sharp, aggressive hood, very muscular, and it does look absolutely gorgeous in this emerald green paint. Though I do have to mention, at the time of this filming, they are just about to reveal the facelifted Escalade with a new design on the front end and a new interior, so definitely stay tuned for that if you are looking for a more updated Escalade. Thankfully, the Escalade V comes with a proper set of wheels and brakes and tires as well. We have these absolutely massive 22-inch wheels on this particular Escalade V. I also really like this monochromatic style Cadillac badge in the center caps. And you can see we have these massive red brake calipers here with the V badge. I believe there's a 6-piston caliper, so we are getting upgraded brakes for all this additional power. And of course, we have adaptive air suspension on this vehicle. Currently, it's in its lowest kind of entry ride height setting. There is a service setting as well as some higher settings you can get this Escalade V at as well. Out in the back of the Escalade V is, again, nothing too crazy over a regular Escalade. We have our signature Escalade vertical LED tail lamps back here, as well as, again, more of that gorgeous emerald green paint. And of course, you can actually open this glass separate from the trunk with the key fob. So if I press this 2 times, it should pop this glass open, and I am able to open open that up. That is a wonderful feature. You can see your rear wiper is actually hidden up back here, and all that stuff and the heating elements are powered by these little cables here. So if you need to reach something in here, it's pretty easy to do so. Otherwise, you can just close it up just like that. And of course, we have a full rear powered tailgate. I honestly don't even care about that, because just check out these exhausts back here. These are quad tip exhausts, and let me tell you, they are real quad tip exhausts, and they are so loud. Oh my God. Of course, we can open up the trunk pretty easily in the Escalade by just pressing the giant Cadillac button, and that trunk will open up for you pretty easily. You can see back here we have quite a bit of storage behind this third row. I love the aluminum plates here we have to kind of get access into the rear trunk. You can also open up this little floor area here, which is more of just a cargo divider than anything else. And thankfully, we do actually still have a spare tire underneath the vehicle if you do need one in the case of an emergency. And as part of our insane 36 speaker AKG reference audio system, there is a huge speaker grill back here, which I believe is a subwoofer. It's absolutely massive. And of course, these rear seats thankfully are power up and down folding, which is a fantastic feature, because this is near $60,000. It better have all those nice luxury features. Now, getting into the rear of the Escalade V is just like a typical Escalade Platinum experience. You open up the door, running boards will pop out for you, and of course the door opens nice and wide to get inside. Now, as we did just fold the seats down, the second row does actually have to be manually pulled up, and it's pretty simple. You just lift it up and it comes right back into place. You have two levers right here to either fold the seat down again or to move it backwards, and it slides relatively pretty easily as well. So let's go hop inside now. Now, before we get in the second row, we have to get into the third row, and to do that, it's also a pretty simple process. Pull this lever 2 times essentially, it unlocks it, and it just folds the seat up, and I could just hop right inside. So not too bad. Now, once you are in the third row, you honestly do have quite a bit of space back here. The seats are so comfortable in the Escalade V, and they're even as comfortable back here as they're technically like the Platinum style seats. I'm gonna pull this seat up to kind of demonstrate to you guys kind of legroom I have here. Obviously the seat's a little bit far forward, but you know, if you had to, you could fit an adult back here. You got cup holders back here, USB-C port, some LED lighting, air vents, and this awesome kind of micro suede headliner back here. So it's a pretty nice space. Definitely still for kids though. If you want, you know, more space, an ESV Escalade is the way to go for this third row, where you really can fit adults back here. Let's go hop in the rear end of the Escalade V now, guys. Nice power door handles here. These are just kind of for show, the actual handles. There's a little button behind here that opens them up for you. Pretty nice feature. We've seen that on a lot of luxury vehicles these days. Absolutely gorgeous door panels here, wrapped in that semi-aniline kind of bourbon leather design here. We have some nice dark wood trim, some metal accents, and of course more of our speakers for our AKG speaker system. Let's actually push this seat back. So to do so, you kind of just pull this lever back, and it should slide back into place. Kind of lock maximum legroom here. Let's hop inside. Inside the Escalade V, really nice, gorgeous space. You can see here we do have the rear entertainment screens built into the back of the seats. So we have like Hulu, YouTube Kids, you can connect HDMI and all that fun stuff there. So pretty nice feature to have. Obviously, this isn't the most useful thing on the planet, but it's, again, nice to have. We actually have some headphones here, and there's even more headphones in these little packets here. So you can see Cadillac AKG in here. Really nice covers as well, feel very premium. Those store nicely in the doors as well. These seats are back here are pretty comfortable. That really nice stitching and pattern we have on the seats, they're super comfortable. There's so much cushion in these seats. These headrests do fold up if you need them. You have a little bit of that Cadillac V badge on the seats, adjustable center armrest as well. A nice big center kind of walkway here to get into the third row if you don't want to fold the seats down, which is a really nice touch. And again, I really like these things. Super squishy and comfortable. Center console here, I really applaud Cadillac for wrapping this whole area in leather, something that Mercedes and some other manufacturers don't do, and it's just cheap, disgusting plastic. So big kudos to Cadillac for actually taking the time to stitch this in leather. It feels very premium. Over here we have a nice big cup holder area, which is a wonderful feature. Down here we have 2 USB-C ports, as those 2 HDMI ports as well as that household style outlet over there. We also have a panel here for our rear climate controls, which I believe it did turn off up there, so you can't see it, but this will illuminate. We have some seat heating as well back here, but this is a really comfortable rear space. We have climate vents up here, more speakers as well. We have a hanger for some clothes if you need to do so, LED lighting, and of course that massive panoramic glass roof. So really nice space back here. I have a lot of leg room as well. So if you want to put passengers in your Escalade V and have them hauled around in this monster super SUV, they're going to have an absolute blast of a time, that is for sure. So let's go take a look at the front end of the Escalade V's interior now, because this is also a really gorgeous space. I love the door handles here. We have a little bit of a Cadillac emblem here to kind of lock your doors. LED light strip at night, really nice stuff. And we have this touch button back here to open the doors. You can see our step bowl to open up. You can actually adjust that through the infotainment system. And we step into this absolutely gorgeous interior space we have over here. Now this is essentially the platinum level interior of the Escalade, and oh boy, is it top tier luxury in here. Before we even hop inside, we have to look at the door panels. Again, gorgeous amounts of leather all over the door panels. It's really nice semi-aniline leather, and you can really see these intricate details up here with this nice stitching that blends into this piece here that blends right in with the dash. Really like that. You know, I will kind of hamper these buttons a little bit. They do feel on a little bit on the cheaper end, especially for a vehicle that's almost like $170,000. But nonetheless, there is a huge facelift coming from the Escalade, so I'm gonna expect to see a little bit some nicer stuff in here. Nice big open pockets down here for the door panels. A little bit of some scratchier, harder plastics down here. We have an aluminum side sill plate that does illuminate at night in the Escalade badge, which is a really nice touch. And we have all of our seat controls here, and we do have massaging, ventilated heating, and all that fun stuff. These controls for the massaging and lumbar are a little bit confusing. I'll show you that when we get inside. But the seats themselves are, they are so comfortable. They feel like a luxury couch. I absolutely love the material on here. It's very premium feeling leather. It's kind of burgundy, dark brown material. Stitching is really nice. The Cadillac little V emblem there. We actually have some speakers built into the headrest here as part of our AKG reference 36 speaker audio system, which is awesome touch. And let's just hop inside before I just keep rambling on. Closing up the door, we actually have soft closed doors on the Escalade V. You can hear it kind of pulling itself in if you don't close it too hard. Really nice, luxurious feature here. You can hear your steps retract. Escalade pops up here, and we can start it up pretty simply with our start stop button here. I'm just going to put it into accessory mode now so I don't waste fuel, because this thing is a thirsty to put it into accessory mode. You just kind of hold the panel there, and all of this stuff comes on. Of course, the light's going to stay on, but it is just an accessory mode just for you guys to keep that in mind. So what do we have on this interior here? So again, gorgeous materials here. The steering wheel is wrapped in that same gorgeous leather that the seats are, that nice same color, as well as the airbag cover. I love that attention to detail there. I also really am a good fan of the integration of the Super Cruise kind of control or alert panel up here. We have real metal paddle shifters as well, which feel very nice to the touch. A nice few set of buttons on here. Now, these are lifted from other GM products. Hopefully, we see this updated to the latest Cadillac-specific hardware that we saw in the Lyric and the facelift version. I'm praying that does come in. Otherwise, it's still a nice steering wheel. We have this kind of gloss wood trim here, metal accents, and a little bit of a V badge over here. We can also see a V badge over here next to our drive mode selector and air suspension controller, as well as our trailer brake controller that we have here as part of our heavy-duty trailer package, which is a nice touch. And we have these three OLED displays here, organic LED displays. That's where we have that really nice, rich black contrast on the displays here, similar to what we have on like iPhones now. On our left panel here, we have this smaller display, which helps us to control our trip information, as well as go through what's happening in our main clusters. There really isn't that much customizability. I think this is going to be changed in the upcoming facelift, but we have our main gauge panel here. We have a map screen where we can upload the Cadillac navigation system. We also have an AR camera, which is an augmented reality camera, so this will kind of highlight information. As you can see here, it's displaying what we have in front of me. Very crystal clear, high contrast. I think it's a little bit oversaturated, but nonetheless, a really cool system. And we have night vision, which only works at night, obviously, and I think it has like some kind of a heat detection, because you can kind of see like the heat in the exhausts of cars in front of you. So that's a really cool touch here. And this right panel here, we can see it's always going to show us like our audio stuff. And this left panel here is a kind of a multi-function display. So if you go into vehicle information here, you can kind of sort through a whole bunch of these different panels here and put that into your display there. So that's a nice touch as well. So I currently have my fuel economy here. I don't really know how someone got 20 miles per gallon in this thing, but apparently they did. And it only has 1,000 miles on it too. These stocks, again, not very premium feeling. I feel like they're lifted right out of like something like a Chevy Trax, but hopefully I hope this will get updated in the upcoming facelift. We have a infrared sensor here for your eyes for the Super Cruise. Otherwise, I think the materials and build quality here are generally really nice. I really appreciate the stitching of the leather on the curved OLED display. It looks really, really premium. It feels very nice. The leather on the dash. I kind of like this cool, unique kind of striated pattern up there as well.
The center console here is very wide. Nice, again, nice leather over here. I really love this generation of controller from Cadillac. It's metal, it feels heavy. The one in the Lyric actually felt a little bit cheaper, even though it looks nicer and glows. Hopefully they can kind of tune that out a little bit going into the future. But we do have some hard controls here to kind of control your infotainment system. This is not the newest generation of Cadillac's infotainment system, which is Android based on the newer ones. This is a little bit step behind, so this will be updated. But I actually quite like how this works. So when you're touching it, it's very smooth, very quick, and it looks like this. But when you use the scroll wheel, it turns into this circular pattern here. And I actually think this is a really great way to display the information. I honestly wish they would actually do this on their newer infotainment systems that we saw in the Lyric and the new XT4. I actually think this is a better implementation of it. And I think the information is a little bit easier to find. It's a little bit easier to navigate as well with this physical dial here. But nonetheless, just a suggestion there. I do like how they separate the climate control systems here. There is still a climate menu in the infotainment system to adjust your rear climate control systems, but all of our front controls are in this nice little separate screen here, which is very nice kind of piano key style buttons here, which I do quite like. Nice big panel here that opens up to reveal 2 cup holders with some LED ambient lighting in here, a little bit of a storage tray, USB-C and USB-A port, and then we have this huge center console here with the Escalade badge, which is really nice. Nice stitching. Opening this up, we have a cooler box in here, which is a little bit cold right now, and you have 2 settings on there. More charging ports, which is a really nice touch, and I have my sunglasses in here and I got some tissues, but it's a pretty big, deep white space, and I can tell you it gets freezing cold. I put my coffee in there. It was freezing, and I like how the air vents are kind of separated and streamlined into this nice long horizontal piece in here. They actually do feel quite premium and nice to use. This is a little bit similar to how they did it in the Lyric. Those have like a little bit of like an organ stop here on those models. This is actually your panel for all your alert systems here. So we have a Cadillac script right here, which looks quite nice, and this is where you're going to find like your check engine light, your seatbelt light, and a whole bunch of warning lights are going to appear in this panel here, but you can't see it during the day, which is kind of cool. Nice wood trim going across the entire dash as well. And we can also see we have a micro suede headliner across this entire headliner over here, and the speakers are literally everywhere in this vehicle. There's 36 speakers in here, so you can see they're literally just placed all over the place in the Cadillac Escalade V. As it is, you know, a top tier version of the Escalade, you better have a top tier audio system, and it is incredible. One other point I guess I'm just going to point out is this plastic here on the doors. It just doesn't look very high end. It's like this gloss metallic flake plastic here. It doesn't feel cheap, but it just doesn't look super high end. I think they're going to change this on the facelift, but again, one little thing I'm just going to point out here. Otherwise, a very comfortable interior, a very commanding high driving position. We have a heads-up display up here as well, and it just is a really surreal experience. It's super quiet in here. I really like it. And just generally, again, this infotainment system is actually quite good. We have this kind of hotkey panel on the side here. This is like your home screen. You have wireless CarPlay, Android Auto. We also have our camera systems as well, which are pretty good. You open up your camera systems. We have a normal view, wide view, overhead, and side view. You also have different trailer cameras for the rear. You can kind of move around these 3D views as well if you kind of want to do that. So it does have all those nice modern functionalities that we have in a luxury vehicle that you would expect. And this is only going to get better. We have ambient lighting controls throughout this interior as well, which you can see during the night, which is all over the place, which is quite nice. I wish it would be a little bit brighter, but again, we may see things change in this upcoming facelift. I'm assuming a video recorder, Spotify is integrated into your Alexa. We can even control your rear media screens from this infotainment system here, see what's being displayed on them, turn them on and off. So a lot of nice functionalities within this infotainment system, like I just mentioned. And otherwise, I actually quite like this interior. It's really comfortable. Up here, we have a main control panel here to control our power shade up here for our absolutely massive panoramic roof. We can tilt it as well as open it as well. We also have a digital rear view mirror, which is very, very handy in this vehicle as it is so big. And we have our controls for our trunk, and we can also control the second and third row seats, I believe, to kind of fold them down if you want to via these 2 buttons here, which I think is a nice touch. Anyways, guys, enough rambling. Let's go take this thing on a drive, because while it may not be a sporty vehicle for a V, it is one statement piece of a V product that is going to make its mark on Cadillac's history forever. Okay guys, let's start up the Escalade V. Buckle in and get ready for a thunderous startup. Oh, that just sounds so good. And driving the Escalade V honestly is just an easy, simple process to do, and it just sounds incredible. You have a few different drive modes we can cycle through here, which is located on the left hand side of the steering wheel here. It will pop up here in your gauge cluster as well. So we have Tour, Sport, Snow Ice, Tow Haul, as well as a My Mode. And we also have a V Mode here, which is a separate button. Now the V Modes and the My Modes are customizable to your own liking. So the V Mode, you can adjust your steering, suspension, brake feel, engine sound, as well as engine shift as well, and the all-wheel drive systems. And the My Mode is a little bit different. You can adjust only a few of those parameters, not all of them. Heading off here, we are in My Mode right now, and that's the only way you can really put the engine sound in its quietest, kind of almost stealth mode like setting here. And you can just hear, even under heavy throttle, it's muted, and muted by Escalade V standards because it's still very loud, but it's definitely muted versus what you hear in V mode, which I will put it in for you guys in just a second, because definitely in V mode things change very dramatically. Audibly, it's a lot louder than it is in any of the other modes, and it kind of unlocks the ability to really get the engine super loud with all the insane pops, burbles that this thing can do. So just have a listen to this. It's a true blast to drive around all the time, especially in the mode. Yes, it comes at the cost of your fuel economy, but it's just so much fun. And the Escalade itself is just a really wonderful vehicle to drive around. I honestly think this is a pretty easy car to drive. The steering wheel is not massive. It's very light, and especially with the steering ratio, it doesn't have a very dense heft to it. You can make it heavier in V mode and adjust it a little bit, but it's pretty good. Now let's do an acceleration quickly in V mode, because it is insane. Those shifts are just like thunder. They're really insane. And you have to keep in mind, this is a 10-speed automatic gearbox, and General Motors' V division has really tuned this to its quickest shifting application that I honestly have driven it in. I've driven a few vehicles with this 10-speed gearbox, and this is lightning quick shifts for a massive SUV that, while it has a near 700 horsepower supercharged V8 engine, is not inherently a sporty vehicle. The Escalade is still a big, comfortable luxo barge at the end of the day. It has a fantastic adaptive air suspension that, depending on what motor you're in, it will either lower or raise. You can raise it to be in a higher ride height. When you go into park, it will lower itself for easy entry and exit. And even in V mode, it does go into a lower setting for more tighter handling, a little bit lower center of gravity you have there. And out here on the highway is really just a wonderful application of this vehicle. The best thing about it is that it has Super Cruise. It just makes it and turns it into a comfortable condo on wheels. And Super Cruise still is hands down one of the best kind of hands-free driving systems that I still have tested so far. It works in the rain, it works at night, it works all the time. It's just simply fantastic. It can auto lane change for you, which is even more fantastic, as it's doing it right now. And it's easy to turn on and off. I've raved about it, I think, enough now. And this is actually one of the earlier Super Cruise systems that I have been using. I just came out of the new Cadillac Lyriq, which is the next generation of Super Cruise. A little more refined, a little bit of a different implementation, and you have a better visualization, I think, what's happening on the screens. But this is still fantastic. You have your camera tracker here. It works on those tens and tens of, I guess, hundreds of thousands of miles of pre-approved roads now, and it's just growing more and more so, and really turns this crazy, raucous, raw vehicle into something calm, comfortable, and a highway cruiser. And of course, you can get this on other Escalades. That's not the insane V, but just another highlight, I think, of the V that makes this car even more special. All right, now this vehicle also comes with GM's magnetic dampers and magnetic ride control as well. So that is going to help you on another front. It's going to help you to adjust the damping on a whole bunch of different levels in coordination with that air suspension. And I think the general sound insulation that General Motors has done in the Escalade obviously is a little bit reduced for this V because you can always hear that exhaust, and they want you to hear that exhaust. It's such a big part of this vehicle. But generally, when you're just cruising around, I think the sound insulation is absolutely incredible. You don't even really need to speak loudly. You can honestly just whisper. You have a conversation enhancement system in here to kind of speak to other passengers in the vehicle as well. So really all great points here. It gets really raucous and loud, and it's a whole load of fun. Bring this to like a Cars and Coffee or to some fun event, and you will be the talk of the show. And just imagine driving this thing around with like a full load of passengers in here with that exhaust sound. It's just an incredible experience. It's a unique experience, even just to say that best. I did want to do a quick audio test for you guys with this incredible AKG audio system. Have a little bit of a listen. We have speakers in the headrest, 36 speakers on this thing. Just a quick audio test for you guys, and as you can hear, that was just barely half volume. It's an incredibly loud and strong and very clear system, and really impressive. Definitely one of the top best audio systems I have experienced in a modern vehicle. Guys, thank you for joining me on this drive of the Cadillac Escalade V. I'm really excited to see what's coming from the Escalade. Facelift coming really soon, and the updates that they're going to introduce to this really fantastic, best-selling platform that they have right here. And I know it's only going to get better. And we also have the Escalade IQ, the full EV, coming out as well. So hopefully we'll get our hands on that in the near future and be able to compare a little bit to what this experience is, as well as the upcoming facelift Escalade experience will be, and just see if they can really take that same aura and translate it over onto the new Ultium electric platform that the gas Escalades can provide. Thank you again for joining me on another video over at Allcarnews, and as always, stay tuned for more coming soon. Cheers.